Alright, me being the genius that I am now re-recording this video because I'm an idiot. Anyway, this is for Calum. Excuse me, sorry. Hey, this is for Calum, and no real specifics. No real specifics were brought about. It didn't seem like you had any specific questions you had in mind. It's just kind of general overall feedback. Okay, let's just go over it. Disclaimers, right. So, I'm just a nerd who likes Tekken and Armor King. AK is a pretty cool guy. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty cool guy. What I say is not necessarily, it's nowhere near gospel or commandment, right? All I'm saying is this. Based on my previous experience playing AK, based on what I've seen other AK players do, and based on just statistics and frame data, right? I'm suggesting options that should help improve your gameplay or offer an alternate route that may or may not lead to better rewards, just giving you more options to work with, right? Just take what I say into consideration. Take it with a grain of salt, right? It is not an exact science. It is not necessarily, all right, do X, Y, Z, and you will lead to great success. But it's more about pointing out, like, hey, here's what I think you can improve on. Here's what could be better and what you need to work on, blah, blah, blah. All right. I had recorded a video before, but I'm an idiot and just wasn't recording the right screen. So I'm going to try and condense my thoughts and hopefully, get that going. The points I'm mainly going to be focusing on are your neutral, your punishment slash matchup knowledge, and your combo slash Oki. I honestly thought your combos were fine throughout the game. And then my personal opinion stuff. Personal opinion being, hey, these are options that I think are neat, but your preferences may vary, right? It's up to you, right? It's just kind of like, I think these tools are cool. Feel free to use them, or don't. Okay, so right at the bat, right, we're talk about is when you block a string from Bryan, it is most likely either punishable or safe, and that can really apply to all characters. If it's punishable, and this is going to be a bit of matchup knowledge, is you want to punish him, right? And if it is not, you have to take into consideration you still have an opportunity to do something. Think about frame data, right? If you are +7 or vice versa, the opponent is -7, whatever. When AK is +7, right? After 2-1 on hit, after what else is he? Down forward 1 on hit. The opponent cannot backdash. The opponent cannot sidestep. They can try. They are, it is a free world. They are more than welcome to try. But any move that you pretty much throw out at them, except for maybe AK's actual homing moves because they're stupidly slow. Oh, I guess 4-4-3, whatever. Anyway, they will eat whatever move you throw out because they are not able to move fast enough to avoid the move, right? So if you're +7, or if the opponent is -7 or worse, maybe -6, and it varies, depends on the character, right? You have a guaranteed mix-up opportunity. So right here, after you block this string, you should have gone for a mix-up opportunity with the throw or a check with down forward 1, right? And this is something you got to keep in mind throughout the series throughout this, at least the first round, this first match, right? You constantly throw away your pressure. Situations where you have the advantage, such as 2-1 on hit, down back 2-4 on hit, you just throw away your advantage for whatever reason. Sometimes it kind of makes sense where in the early stages of the game, as you're still feeling out your opponent, you're kind of like, all right, let me backdash in here and see what he does. And then that's perfectly fine, right? It's kind of like, all right, you're trying to see what your opponent's going to do and then base your plan of attack adjust your plan of attack based on the information you gain. Cool. The problem is that as the match progresses, there's just no adjustment. There's nothing new that you do based on some new knowledge that you gain from it. You just kind of do the same flow of attack over and over again, and then you're not really, and you keep sacrificing your pressure when you have the massive frame advantage, right? Yeah, that's like kind of the one of the core issues that I noticed. But let's keep going. So right here, right here. So you do down 4, fine. Right here, you're doing the little slide into down 3 plus 4, and the question is why. And then right here, you finish the string. Down 3 plus 4 is a fantastic move. I love the move, right? However, at the range you're at, why are you using this move? Right? It's 17 frames. It high crushes from frame 6, so highs don't matter. But Bryan was repeatedly doing down forward too, right? His little elbow jab thing that basically acts like a down forward one, like a budget, whatever. But it's a mid, right? You're not gonna high crush anything, and it's 13 frames. It's gonna, no matter what the Bryan does leading up to the situation, right? So he hits you right. He right here. He checks you with down forward 2, right? Now Bryan is -6. You back up to let him do a dick jab, right? And now he's what, +1, and now he gets to do it again. He hits you out of the move that you're trying to go for, right? Let's watch it again. Hit, block, dick jab. You're going for down 3 plus 4, and he just hits you out of it, right? You're too slow. And then here it works out, which is fine. But now you have to ask yourself, why are you putting yourself, granted you finished the string, which is a whole nother issue, why are you putting yourself at -5 on against a Bryan up close? Down 3 plus 4 is a fantastic move. I love the move. It's -5 on hit. You do not want to be up close against this Bryan when when you're -5. Your options are so limited, right? This is why down 4 is so much more valuable in this sort of up close situation, right? It's faster, so you were less likely to have gone counter hit. I think you still would have, because I just didn't realize AK's down 4 is 14 frames at the time. You still likely would have gotten hit out of it from the other move, but it being at -2 gives you so much more room to maneuver, right? You can do a lot more movement than you can being at -5. -5 locks you in place, and then finishing the string. What the fuck what's the frame data for it anyway? It's launch punishable? Holy shit. Right. Why are you doing a launch? Is this updated? Regardless, I know it's at least -13 or above. Maybe it is launch punishable, which is funny as fuck. But why are you finishing the string against Bryan, right? If you analyze throughout the entire round, you've done some jabs, but you've done a lot of mids in there. And the entire time he's refused to duck, right? So as he's leading into it, he's just pressing his buttons against you. Why he tries to jig dab to steal momentum. This is the closest he's gotten to ducking the entire round. Why would you expect down 3 plus 4 3 to do anything here, right? I'm probably harping on this too much, but the main point being, I feel like in this situation, when you're too close, you want to stick to more like down 4 and down 3, right? From farther ranges, if you want to get in some chip damage, down 3 plus 4, it's only 12 damage. That's sad. It's like a long range low poke. It's fine. It's not the best thing you want to do, right? Or it's not like the greatest thing you can do. It's an option, but try to avoid using it up close, right? Oh, I'm pretty sure shoulder punishes 3 plus 4. Lab that out. If it's not consistent, then forgo it. But if you can punish 3 plus 4 from Bryan, that seals off a key, like, fun button that Bryan has, and it's very important to shut that out if you can. Oh, and I did a little bit about this. Be very hesitant about running into Bryan when he starts doing orbital, right? This is a trap. All Bryan players will figure out that neutral orbital is a fucking disgusting move, and then they'll do the move, they'll recover faster than the speed of light on whiff, and then you'll rush in, and then they'll do it again, and you'll get hit out of whatever you're doing. You're going for Shining Wizard here, and it worked out because Shining Wizard has an aerial grab version, so that's fine. it's just very risky to do, right? Like you're not always going to be rushing and doing the grab every single time, and he'll be doing, orbital every single time. More than likely, you rushing in against a Bryan who's ready to do neutral orbital is going to get you killed more than anything, right? So it's just exercise caution. Let the Bryan do orbital, that's fine, and then try to go for like a mix-up, but don't expect to really whiff punish this guy that often. And you'll see an example come up shortly about like he literally just whiffs the orbital in your face. You do your fastest whiff punish possible, and it's not enough. It's not in time. It's insane how much like little whiff recovery that move has. And it's just kind of something that you got to accept as part of the matchup and make sure to adjust for it. Don't fall for the trap of like, oh, if I rush in this time, I can get him. Like, trust me, we've all been there. It doesn't work out in your favor. So, and then right here, right, you get the throw, cool. You get 2-1. You're +7. You have a guaranteed mix-up opportunity, but you back off and do your pressure, right? The pressure is an opportunity, right? You don't have to take it, but even if you didn't want to go for the throw mix-up, right, and because you're afraid of the Bryan is going to duck, and he does, why would you sacrifice your pressure right there? Why would you back away when you know you need to clinch the victory right here and now, right? Why not do an immediate down forward 1 instead? Even if, okay, even doesn't matter. You're still +7 on hit. Your down forward 1 is going to have a 7-frame head start against whatever the Bryan wants to do, and he can't sidestep it. He can't backdash it. He has to either block it or duck it. And in here, he would have ducked it, and then boom, you have the knowledge of, okay, I know this guy's going to be ducking after I have like a mix-up opportunity, so I should take advantage of that in the future, right? So those are your 2 paths. You either go for the guaranteed mix-up or you go for the safe mid-check, and both options are valuable, right? I can understand going for the safe option at the start. What I don't understand, or to gain information, what I don't understand is why immediately just backdash and give up all your pressure. Now the Bryan gets to just kind of do whatever he wants, and then Lord knows what happened there, and then you just die, right? So that's kind of the main issue of you're sacrificing pressure, and then you're giving this Bryan breathing room, which he shouldn't have. Also in the future, if you have inputs available, try to turn on your inputs for feedback purposes. It's not a mandatory thing. It's just kind of a suggestion. Like, hey, it helps people give feedback so we can kind of see like, hey, why are you pressing here, right? Right there, faster than the speed of light, right? He just, in your face, no respect, just does it, and then you're unable to whiff punish. Oh, I guess you weren't in range. But that's the thing, right? It's just kind of like, look at how fucked the situation is. If he wanted to, he could fucking whiff punish you with an orbital. God knows I've seen that thing go over some crazy mids, right? So it comes down to that situation of, if you see the orbital until you're like, a Tekken God Omega in this matchup in particular, right? Treat it as a sort of, okay, let him whiff while he's recovering, go for a mix-up. Just do not see it as a whiff punishment guaranteed, because it is not guaranteed, right? Don't take a whiff punishment for granted. Okay, so here you go for it. I guess maybe you're still gaining information. Like, maybe that's why you backdashed in the past. I'm still not the biggest fan of it. It's just kind of like, don't backdash when you're +7. I don't really see the point. You still, even you could backdash, or you can just do your safe mid check and then backdash, because at down forward 1 after block, you're still -1. There's nothing that the Bryan can do that's gonna, you won't be able to move around with, right? Let's keep going. Let's see how it goes. Mix up. Oh, was that an input error? I don't know. Nice. Love that move. Okay, so right here, right? I forget what my train of thought was initially, but you're forced crouch in here, and I think you needed to input the forward 3 a bit faster. because there's this bit of lag, like the Bryan's able to just kind of sidestep. Like he should not have been able to sidestep. Your forward 3 should have been input instantly, and it doesn't matter that you're forced crouch after that move. The forward input cancels the crouch, right? And then you're good to go. So I would maybe recommend practicing that. Maybe it was the lag, but yeah, I was like initially curious about this decision. Like, why would you go for forward 3? And I feel like you had the right idea. I just think you were a bit too slow on the trigger, or maybe it was just lag. So what is it here? What is this guy? That's funny. Rip. Nice. Nice. Oh. Okay, so this happens a lot where you get the counter hit back one and you go for the flip over combo. I think your combos are solid. I just think for this situation, right, if you take a look at like you're facing a 4-bar connection, right, I would just go for the guaranteed damage, right? Just do whatever the easy mode down back 2-4 combo is. It's a situation of either I drop the combo and lose all my damage, or I do like the basic bitch easy mode combo, but I get guaranteed damage, Oki, etc. It's kind of just like a decision you're gonna have to make, right? Like, take into consideration Tekken Online fucking sucks, and you have to just kind of be like, okay, I can go for my guaranteed stuff, or I can risk it for the combo. I'm of the opinion you just go for the easy mode stuff, go for the guaranteed damage, but up to you. Were you going for maybe you're going for a mix-up. Okay, so again, that's fine. Yeah, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. It's interesting watching this again. Okay. Oh yeah. Now I remember what my fucking. So okay. I went back too fast. So after down back 2-4 on hit, after the first one, you kind of backdash, and again, I don't understand why, because you can easily. Is it here? Yeah, you can easily just dash in, do down forward 1. The Bryan can't do anything in time, right? And then after the second one, why are you doing forward 2-1, right? He only ducked once, and that was after the 2-1 on hit. After the down back 2-4, you see him holding back to walk backward. Why do the forward 2-1? And this is gonna be a thing where I'm like, and later on you'll do forward 2 by itself, and I just don't see the point. This is a punisher, a whiff punisher, or block, or long range block punisher. That's it. It is not a neutral tool. All right. It is stupid fast. Maybe you can like sidestep catch it or whatever. But why is your mid check forward 2-1, right? If the Bryan, the Bryan was standing when you did the previous down back 2-4s, then it is reasonable to go like, okay, maybe he'll still be standing after the next one, because he'll just be holding back to block or walk, right? And it comes back to the point, if they're just holding back, he's gonna see the elbow and then immediately duck the follow-up. Just keep in mind that you have better mids to use, right? You don't have any scary power mids or whatever, but you have better mids for the situation. Rip. I feel like that's more punishable. Yeah, so right here, right, and then in previous ones, what is this? This is 15 frames. This is what you should be forward 2-1-ing, right? I think you do down back 4 in the previous ones, which is like fine, but I'm a bigger fan of the knockdown, and more importantly, I'm a bigger fan of pushing him to the wall as soon as possible, so you can restrict his options and force him to use his more like risky tools or something, right? So right here should be forward 2-1. I think you do down back 2-4. Oh, you do dark upper. I don't know if that was on purpose or something, but it's like, I just wouldn't trust a 4-bar connection, and I wouldn't really trust block punishment dark upper. I mean, if you got the execution, go for it. I just think, you know, go for the I'm always in favor of consistency. Whatever is consistent. If you're able to make the dark upper consistent, go for it. But just remember, you have forward 2-1 as a backup. I feel like that was lag. Like, that definitely should have worked out. But, it's whatever. Nice. Nice. Good bit of movement and stuff like that. This is like the third time I've seen this happen, and God, it's just bullshit every time. Is it because his head moves back, or is AK's like, what was it? Was it back one you did? Oh, it was just like a jab. Like, it was just a shit hitbox, so that's fucking sad. Yeah, he did a shit combo, so nice. That should have been a whiff punish, but it's fine. That should have been a whiff punish, right? Like, yeah, we'll talk about it more later. Nice, drop, yeah. And so that's what it comes down to, right? Of like, you got to really feel out the connection and just be like, okay, do I want the consistent damage or do I want that high risk, high reward? And it's not really high risk, high reward. Like, I'm sure with execution you can overcome it. The problem is you have to take into account online, and online just blows everything up in your face. Nice. Oh, rip. Wait, what was the situation? Was this the one? Oh, there's something else. Rip. Okay, so let's analyze what went wrong right here, right? You get hit, cool, whatever. You do down 4, and then you go for a wall standing 1. You die for it, whatever. Why are you going for a wall standing 1? You pulled the trigger too early. If you're waiting for a jab whiff punish, then you gotta wait. You can't just preemptively do wall standing 1. But more importantly, it's just, why are you doing wall standing 1? Right? It's 16 frames already, and then down 4 makes it 2 frames slower, right? Because you're -2 after down 4 on hit. So now it's gonna take you 18 frames for your move to come out, and this Bryan is just gets to do whatever he wants, right? It's a tough situation. I think you were better off just blocking, right? And maybe at most going for wall standing 4. You have to keep in mind the context of the situation you're in, right? Previously, the issue was something like down 3+4. It is a fine move to use. It is not the best move to use when you're really close to your opponent and the move leaves you at -5 on hit, or even finishing the string extension and getting launched for it, right? And here the situation is you've just hit a move that leaves you minus on hit, and then you're gonna do one of the slowest moves in your arsenal to try and counter hit him, right? The Bryan can press anything 17 frame and below, and I guess he pressed like some 18 frame because he traded with you, but he can press anything 17 frame and below and he'll beat you clean. So you got to factor that into account and just kind of be like, all right, am I gonna risk it? Maybe, maybe not. Or you have to hold on a little bit and see if he goes for the high, and then do your whiff punish with wall standing 1. Yeah, I just think you pulled the trigger too early. That should have been whiff punish. Rip. I don't think. Okay, so actually, okay. Hatchet kick is +5 on hit. What are you stepping, right? What move could you possibly step? You're not gonna step a jab, right? You're not. At the +5 situation. If your opponent's +5, you're not gonna really be able to move around. And then AK's got like a shit hit bot, her sidestep or whatever, right? And what are you really sidestepping? I guess I'm just confused as to the action here. There's not really anything like crazy I would change. It's just more about like, you gotta just block and take the mix up and then wait for him to do a move that you block and don't get hit by, and then move around. Right, because then he can just do that. Okay, oh, I know what's coming up, and that's the fun part. Rip. Fucking here comes Santa Claus. Oof. Ugh. But Santa, it's January. It's still winter. Oh man, a tragedy. A tragedy. Alright, look. So you get the knockdown, which is cool, right? Why are you doing slash kick here? You time it to. I feel like you committed. You hesitated, and that hesitation kills you because it was too late to commit to the slash kick and then hit him like meaty or on his wake up. It had enough time for him to quickly get up, and now he can just sidestep. He can literally sidestep a pixel, and then you'll sail harmlessly by. Unfortunately, you sail. You sail. You don't sail harmlessly by. You just sail by, and then your back is exposed, and he gets his guaranteed combo. It's hard to pump the brakes, right? In general, I just don't think you want to go for a slash kick, right? It's too risky. It's too linear against an opponent who's shown to have like strong movement and stuff, right? And it's just not really in your favor. And so that's another thing of like, oh, do I just go for giant swing? I'm not entirely sure why you would go for giant swing here. Maybe you're going for the side switch, which is fine, but it's like everybody's going to be expecting the giant swing, and I feel like you really need to start racking up the damage, and you can't just go for an obvious play like giant swing when your back is to the wall. I feel like everybody's expecting it, right? So I think you need to abuse, Hades drop and Tombstone a bit more. Just kind of like go for the big damage throws to start setting up your momentum, start getting some momentum. Like going for the side switch here isn't the worst decision. It's fine. Now your back is kind of clear from the wall, but it's also just not really building you the momentum you need. Like I said, it's not a wrong decision to do what you did, but I think you could have gone for I felt like going for the damage would have started to help build you momentum, and you still would have gotten out of the wall, right? Like he's either going to be knocked down or launched far away with Hades drop, and you just start moving towards him and moving away so that your back is not towards the wall. That's just my 2 cents. Nice. Maybe there's something you could have done for the combo. And so right here, right, why are you doing forward 2? Even if it's like, oh, you're not finishing the string, now the Bryan just gets to be plus 11 and do whatever he wants. Hatchet kick, which is like 21, 22 frames or whatever, if they have like really good execution. Hatchet kicks trades with your jabs. Yeah, the move has no high evasion or whatever, but if he just executes a perfect hatchet kick, even a jab, your fastest tool is just going to trade with it. And because trades result in a counter hit and shit, you do not want to trade and let the Bryan get a counter hit hatchet kick, right? I just think you have better moves to use, like forward 2, right? To kind of like, all right, let me pressure him a little bit and see how that goes. As opposed to, all right, let me press one button, kill all my momentum, and now you're at range 0, minus 11 against a Bryan who has every counter hit tool in the business, right? It's just kind of a rough spot you put yourself in, and I think you should reconsider using forward 2 like that. And then it comes down to hatchet kicks plus 5 on hit, right? He did down forward 1, right? It's about, sometimes you just gotta block, dude, because hatchet kicks plus 5, even the fastest tool you have, a dick jab, which is what you did, will trade with I-15, which is Bryan's down forward 1. Now you've traded, you're now in another scramble situation, and the Bryan can do whatever he wants, kind of, and it's just a really shitty situation from you. All right. Rip. I should watch the rest of the matches, but I'll watch it again later. Okay, so neutral, right? Here's the problem, is that you're not necessarily doing anything super problematic, it's that you're just too passive when you shouldn't be. Throughout the entire set, what is a reason that the Bryan is going to start ducking, right? What's the reason? Down 3 plus 4? Without going into my sort of like luxury ramble style, I'm gonna be trying like cut it short. It's that you're not using enough down 3, you're not using enough crouch dash throws or any throws really to mix up this Bryan, right? You are just constantly being passive and letting the Bryan play his game. He never feels like he has a reason to duck or do panic orbitals, right? Are orbitals a fun move to deal with? Fuck no. Fuck that move, right? But if the Bryan is spending more time trying to preemptively orbital you because he's afraid of down 3 or afraid of your throws, he is spending less time being able to like play his game plan, right? You want to force your opponent you want to force them into a specific pattern of play that you can help abuse. If he's too busy trying to do orbitals, right, you can take advantage of like the whiff recovery and go for a mix-up. Don't expect to punish, but you have a guaranteed mix-up opportunity. And he's spending more time just being afraid of like when's the next throw, when's the next low, etc. You're playing it safe, which is understandable, but as the matches progressed, you should have been taking mental notes about like what are some of your opponent's habits and how can you take better advantage of them, right? And then start utilizing that. But there was never really any adjustments throughout the match. It was just kind of like a very passive, oh, I got a pressure, all right, well, time to sacrifice it for whatever reason. Is there anything else unusual I would say? And it doesn't even have to be throws, right? Just do like crouch dash 1 or something to kind of like poke at him and be like, hey, I got this move, right? Or down 3 at close range is a great pressure starter. If the opponent's pressing any button, right, they'll just get counter hit and then boom, guaranteed mix-up opportunity. And it's just more about you need to start giving him reasons to duck so your mids are a bit more effective, and it's about that ebb and flow, right? Look at the flow of the match. You're doing a lot of mids, he's just stand blocking all of them, right? So that gives you information of like, okay, well, he's just going to stand block everything. Let me try my throws or let me try my lows, right? And then as you continue to use them, he starts either adjusting or freaking out. He's like, all right, let me start flash ducking. And then you take notice of that. It's like, okay, now he's kind of ducking. Let me swap back and start using my mids, right? It's just like you were too passive and just kind of let the Bryan just do whatever he wanted before you were able to really do anything or set up a game plan. Punishment / matchup knowledge. There was a lot of like missed whiff opportunities, and I say opportunities, not necessarily punishment, because it goes back to like the block punishment situation. There's gonna be some stuff that's safe. There's gonna be some stuff that just recovers too quickly on whiff, and that's fine, right? When you can't get a guaranteed whiff punish, treat it as a opportunity to go for a guaranteed mix-up because the opponent is still recovering from whiffing the move, right? So it's just something to take into consideration, is that when the opponent whiffs, you're faced with two decisions that you gotta make. Do you go for an attempted whiff punish, or do you go like, okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna get there in time for the whiff punish. Let me go for a poke. Let me go for a mix-up opportunity, etc. So trying to take more advantage of the whiffs that your opponent is doing. Combo / Oki. I talked about it a bit before. I don't think your combo routes were bad. It was just kind of like, hey man, you're dropping these combos at critical junctures and you're losing all your momentum. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and do like the basic combos. Not because of like any particular reason. It's just to preserve your momentum. Just dropping the combo like that's just feels bad. And not only on top of that, like you've just lost all your momentum, and you have to. How often are you really gonna get counter hit launches, right? It's not like you're playing Paul or Steve, where it's just like, all right, let me just do core circle back 4 all day, and there's I got a counter hit, amazing gameplay, right? It's not like Steve. Let me just do back 1 all day, and or down forward 2 all day, and then I got a counter hit, amazing gameplay. It's Armor King, right? You have some counter hit launching tools, but a lot of it is just kind of like you really need to take your momentum where you can get it. Personal opinion stuff. More down 3, maybe a bit more down 4, but you need to create more advantageous frame situations so that you can, actually do stuff with it, as opposed to, I'm just gonna let this Bryan do whatever he wants. Oh, I'm +7. Oh, I'm plus 14G. Whatever. I'll just backdash, right? And even if you don't, like, even if you want to take the safe approach, like you don't want to go for the mix up, go for down forward one, and then if they block it, okay, backdash, see what happens. And if it gets hit, free roll it, you get another free turn, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Other options I like. Forward 4 for Oki. I think that move is just really amazing on Oki. Maybe not a neutral. I feel like it's too slow, and you risk getting counter hit, right? So keep that on Oki, but do start to utilize it. Forward 2, forward neutral 2. Though they are your friends. They are amazing. Forward 2 is made safe. It's amazing. Forward neutral 2 is a counter hit launcher. That's +7 on hit, leading to guaranteed mix-up opportunities, right? Both of those moves track due to the forward input. Both of them are basically nigh like unseeable, right? If you mix them in with wave dashing or just proper movement, etc. And they do so much. They do so much, right? Do you risk getting launched if they block forward neutral too? Yes. But it's a +7 low that counter hit launches that does decent jam. How much damage does that thing do, actually? I think it does 17 damage? Hot damn. Right? Let me pause the 17 damage. That thing's -14. Anyway. It's a chunky damage low that high crushes, that is hard to see, and gives you, amazing pressure, right? It's basically unseeable. And if the opponent's blocking an unseeable low, once in a blue moon, sure, but if they keep repeatedly blocking and you keep getting launched for it, that's not the low's fault. That's your fault for being predictable with timing, right? As Eris famously once said, like, if you have an unseeable low and you're like, oh, man, they just keep blocking this move. They're blocking my unseeable low. That's not the low's fault. That's your fault. Right, so a lot more of just forward 2, forward neutral 2, just to, like, have a varied... AK has every tool in the book and a lot of ways to mix them up, to help mix up his timings, to utilize wave dashing, to help keep track of the opponent, etc. And you need to start incorporating those into your game. Is there anything else I had? That's pretty much it. I did only watch the first round. I guess reading your comment again, you talked about, like, you struggled at the beginning but then discovered one jump. So I guess it's in the later rounds. I don't know. Steve said he'll take a look at it. Maybe he'll give you some feedback on the later rounds. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you would prefer a text version, let me know. If you would prefer a follow-up video being like, hey, I actually did make some of these adjustments that you talked about, just watch the later matches, sure, just let me know. I just kind of made this out of, I don't know, I was just thinking, like, alright, let's do it. I had some free time. And yeah. Oh, and in the future, if for whatever reason you frequent the critique channel a lot, weekends are usually better for me. Steve is Steve. He'll drop in with his knowledge whenever he feels like. Weekdays are a bit more tough, but just leave it there. I'll get to it when I can, type of deal. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you prefer text rundown or whatever, like, hey, just write me up your thoughts. Sure. All right, cool.